المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وتجعل الحزن والصعب إذا ما شئت سهلا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ بوأنا لإبراهيم مكان البيت ألا تشرك بي شيئا وطهر بيتي للطائفين والقائمين والركع السجود وأذن في الناس بالحج يأتوك رجالا وعلى كل ضامر يأتين من كل فج عميق ليشهدوا منافع لهم ويذكروا اسم الله في أيام معلومات. صدق الله العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المسلمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. And I wanted to thank Brother Al-Faqar for giving me the chance to be with you today. We will basically do the presentation for Hajj. And Alhamdulillah, it looks like all of you will be intending to go to Hajj. And that's a blessing from Allah Azza wa Jal. We will be having this recorded so that others will be able to see it as well. And we can, inshallah, make it available for everyone who wants to participate. The whole intent, just before we start, how many of you have gone to Hajj from before? All first time? Except for Shaykh, mashallah, bil-faqar. How about Umrah? How many of you have made it to Umrah? Okay, mashallah, alhamdulillah. Well, it is basically, Hajj is a small Umrah. And as we will go through, the details, we will get to know the difference between Umrah and Hajj. But first of all, I want to congratulate you. You are on the track for the journey of 10,000 miles towards Mecca. And you're taking the first step right now as you have intended to make this trip. You will be sacrificing financially, you will be sacrificing your time, your physical efforts as well. So that's by itself is a big thing to do. And be mindful of the fact that al-ghazi wal-hajj wal-mu'tamir wafdullah da'ahum fa'ajabuh wa sa'aluhu fa'a'tahum. The haji and the one who goes in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal and the one who goes for Umrah are wafdullah, the guests of Allah. Allah have called upon them, they responded to him. And as I was reciting also from Surah Al-Hajj, that Allah Azza wa Jal called upon Ibrahim, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. Call upon people for Hajj and they shall come to you on foot, on camels, and different means of transportation from different parts of the world. And that's what exactly we're seeing, when we are in the season of Hajj. So you need to feel the legacy that Allah have chosen you among those who are inhabiting the earth. We have about 8-point-something billion living on earth. Among them, a certain number of Muslims. And from those Muslims, the 1.8 billion, you are going to be among the only 5 million on average who go to Hajj will be blessed to make it to this trip. Feel the legacy of that in your heart. There are many, I can tell you from experience and from people here in North America who are well off and they have the financial means, but they're unable to make it, let alone those who are in other parts of the world for financial difficulties or for age restrictions, they're unable to make it to Hajj. So alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed you to be in this journey, and you are still in the first step. So make sure that you first start by reconciling between Allah Azza wa Jalla in a sincere tawbah, reconciling between you and others around you to make sure that your Hajj inshallah will be accepted, will be right, and will be inshallah Hajjun Mabrur. So the Prophet ﷺ indicated to us that لا تشد الرحال إلى ثلاث مساجد. You only are able to make trips of Hajj to 3 masjids on earth, and those are the Masjid al-Haram, the Masjid al-Nabawi, and the Masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as the Masjid al-Aqsa. So those are the only masjids we're required to go for Hajj or to visit, to travel for visitation and the niyyah of i'tikaf. So alhamdulillah, if Allah Azza wa Jal have made that possible for you, as I said again, feel the legacy for this. Al-Hajj wal-Umrah كفارة لما بينهما والحج المبرور لا جزاء له إلا الجنة. be mindful that Umrah to Umrah or Hajj to Hajj, cleanse what comes between them, and there is no reward for the best Hajj, for Hajj al-Mabrur, except Al-Jannah. Al-Hajj al-Mabrur, there are different ways to define Al-Hajj al-Mabrur, whether it is, لم يرفث ولم يفسق رجع كيوم ولدته أمه, the one who goes to Hajj and does not engage in vain talk or indulge into things that would smear and nullify his or her Hajj, then comes back as if he was born in the moment. I'm going to tell you up front, and I'm not, by the way, going with Sheikh Abdul Faqar this year, but if you're expecting your Hajj to be 5-star, you're an illusion. Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed to go to Hajj many times and Umrah. Part of the Hajj is to struggle, and part of, I can share with you, wrote books about my Hajj journeys, may Allah accept from us, but there is always something in Hajj that pops up in the last minute, and this is Alhamdulillah. If it happened to you, thank Allah, because it's part of the struggle. The more, the Prophet indicated that the money you spend, the more you spend in the Hajj journey to the whole house of Allah Azza, and the more you exert efforts of struggling in the journey, the more rewards you will be gaining. So keep that in mind. No matter how the travel agencies all over the world try to do their best to make sure that the Hajj and all the details, there are going to be always something. So this is a test from Allah Azza for you. Are you going to be holding your, yourself and controlling your temper, or are you going to be going outraged? We're used to this lavish, lifestyle. We want things perfect. We can complain to the manager. We get refunds. We get this. We get that. We get. Hajj does not have that. When you go to Saudi Arabia or to to the Middle East, it's a totally different world. The standards you're used to here is not going to be there. So keep that in mind, because this is actually part of what you will be going through in the struggles of the Hajj. Alhamdulillah, this is from the barakah of Allah, because we need to feel how the Prophet ﷺ and how people in the past time used to go to Hajj and struggle. Because people, when they go to Hajj, they would, farewell from their families and say goodbye to them in a hope that they will be able to see them. But there is a chance that they will not be able to see them once again. So the blessings of being in the old house of Allah Azza Mecca is big. Think of it this way: every salah you pray in the Masjid al-Haram equal to 100,000. That's a lot, and that's something that Allah have blessed you with. Keep that in mind. Do not miss one single salah away from the Haram. Make sure that you increase your ta'at and ibadat, whether sunan nawafil or rawatib, whether it is the sadaqah, whether the good deed, whatever you're able to do it, because chances that your rewards for that, what you are doing, will be multiplied by 100,000. And if we have time, inshallah, at the end of the presentation, because I'm mindful of the time, we will go over what is the best schedule for you to do while you are in the best locations on earth in the best time of the whole year. Because you will be there in the first 10 days of the Hijjah. وَمَا مِنْ أَيَامِ الْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحِ فِيهِنَّ أَحَبُّ إِلَى اللَّهِ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْأَيَّامِ. No days of the whole year, the good deeds are highly evaluated by Allah, like the days of the Hijjah, which we are intending to go, inshallah. And keep in mind that this is the journey of dua. And inshallah, as I said, if we have time at the end, we will explore how beautiful and how powerful this journey is to help you get what you are in need for from Allah Azza. All of us, with no exceptions, have things between us and Allah Azza. We want things to be better in our life, so this is the time for you to do it. And the talk about the power of dua and the importance of dua is always in the Quran and the Hadith of Rasulullah. And the Prophet indicated inna du'a huwa al-ibadah. Dua, it is indeed the ibadah itself. And then the Prophet said, recited Allah's Quran, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. So dua is the core of all the ibadat, and you will see how significant the dua is in the journey of Hajj. So now we will be talking about the different types of Hajj. And I'm sure, and I'm assuming that the majority of you will be going for Hajj Mutamatti'a. Hajj Mutamatti'a is the Hajj you will be you're intending to do by going to do Umrah first, and then after that you exit from the state of Ihram, and then you wait for the Hajj, and you continue with rituals of the Hajj. So this is called Mutamatti'a. and I'm sure this is to majority of us would be the best one, as the Prophet actually encouraged the Sahaba to do Hajj Mutamatti', because it will help you and give you the chance to do Umrah as well as Hajj, but at the same time get a break between the two of them. So you go to for Mecca first, and then doing Umrah, and then after that you continue with the Hajj journey. And there is also another type of Hajj, which is Hajj Qiran, to do Hajj and Umrah together without breaking Ihram between. So you intend from the beginning that you're doing Umrah, you do the Umrah first, and you continue with your Ihram until the Hajj. And the last type, which is the Hajj Mufrid, just going for Hajj by itself, and doing without doing Umrah. And as said again, the Prophet ﷺ encouraged the Sahaba to do the Hajj Mutamatti', except unless you're carrying or you're taking with you al-Hadi, which is in our nowadays is not possible. We don't take with us the Hadi to the Haram, the animal with us in our journey. This is already pre-arranged for us. So the best type of Hajj is the Mutamatti', which is I think the one that we will be going for. Now, this is in the Talbiyah, you would say Allahumma inni nawaitu al-Umrah Mutamatti' Hajjan wa Umrah, or Hajjan liwahdi and or Mutamatti'an. But there's an addition to your dua. Say فإن حبسني حابس فمحلي حيث حبستني. You need to say, when you do your intention for Ihram, if you say Rabbi, I am doing going to do my Hajj or Umrah, unless something abstract me from being able to continue my journey, then I am at that point where I am distracted. So this will prevent you from being liable for slaughtering an animal, because فمن أحصر فما استيسر من الهدي. If you are in the journey of Hajj or Umrah and you are not able to continue your journey, then the compensation for that is to slaughter an animal. But alhamdulillah, in the journey of Hajj, things inshallah will be going smooth, and things will be going easy بإذن الله عز وجل. But if you want to include that in your ihram niyyah, فإن حبسني حابس فمحلي حيث حبستني. فمحلي حيث حبستني, meaning to say, I am going with my journey as long as things are going, unless something abstract me from the journey, whether it's a sickness, whether it is Allah knows what things could happen on the road. Now let's talk about the arkan of Hajj. There are for each sha'ira we have arkan and we have wajibat. So arkan al-Hajj are al-Ihram, which is a niyyah, to make the intention that to go for Hajj, and then tawaf hawl al-bayt, which is tawaf al-ifada. We will get to explain what's tawaf al-ifada and tawaf al-qudum and all the details, and sa'i between the-Safa and al-Marwa, going between Safa and Marwa, and wuquf bi-Arafah. Now, what's the difference between the arkan and the wajibat? Arkan are the pillars of the Hajj. If any of those pillars is missing, basically Hajj is not accepted. So the Hajj would not be held without fulfilling all these 4 pillars. So keep that in mind as we go on. There are simple pillars. First, a niyyah for the ihram, to intend the niyyah, and a tawaf al-ifada, and then a sa'i bain al-Safa wal-Marwa, to go commute between Safa and Marwa, and to stand on the mountain of Arafah. And this is arkan al-Hajj: al-Ihram, al-Wuquf bi-Arafah, tawaf al-ifada, as-sa'i bain al-Safa wal-Marwa. Now, wajibat al-Hajj, and we will see the difference between arkan and wajibat. If you miss a rukun, your Hajj is not accepted. However, in the arkan, if you miss the rukun, there is a way to compensate that. So the arkan, the wajibat of the Hajj, al-ihram al-miqat, which is to declare your ihram, intention for Hajj, from the locations that are specified for people around the earth. The Prophet ﷺ have specified for people coming from different parts of the Arabian Peninsula of when they can declare their ihram. And you will be, inshallah, as you're traveling by the airplane, most likely going to Turkey, and then from Turkey, Istanbul, going to Jeddah. Normally in the airplane they will announce those who are going for Hajj or Umrah, were in the miqat zone, get yourself ready for ihram. So my advice is to get yourself ready, as we will inshallah talk about how to prepare yourself for the ihram. Get yourself ready in advance before you board the airplane. And when you the miqat, when you reach the miqat area, then you will be inshallah declaring your ihram in that particular location or zone on earth. The second, الوقوف بعرفة إلى الغروب. To stay on the mountain of Arafah until the sun set. This is from the واجبات. And المبيت مزدلفة إلى ما بعد منتصف الليل. And to sleep on Muzdalifah until past the midnight. There are exceptions to those who are sick or old, but you need to stay there until the midnight. In الوقوف بعرفة, and we'll come to explain that. If something abstracted you and you need to stay until later on after the sunset, it's permissible for you to do so, but you need to keep in mind that you need to be in Muzdalifah and spend the night there after the midnight elapses. And throwing the stone, رمي الجمرات, and shaving for the brothers or cutting the hair, and for the sisters who cut a little bit from their hair, and then sleeping in Mina أيام التشريق, the days of Tashriq, and then طواف الوداع, which is the last tawaf, farewell tawaf when you do when you leave from Mecca departing back home. Now, what happened if you are not able to fulfill one of those wajibat? The compensation for that will be to slaughter an animal to compensate that. Now, it's not that I don't want to do this, no. But if something abstracted you or something have come up for whatever reasons, as I said again, Hajj is a journey of lifetime, and that's why it's not only once in a lifetime minimum. And when you are in a small geographical area with 5 million people from different parts of the world speaking different languages and with different cultures and behaviors and attitude, things are going to be extremely difficult, and this is where your patience will be tested. So then to compensate that is to slaughter an animal that will be given to the people, the poor in Mecca. Now, Arkan al-Umrah are the pillars, the pillars of Umrah are very simple. First, al-Ihram, al-Tawaf, and al-Sa'i. Umrah is very basic, very simple. Umrah takes about half an hour to an hour max. You do it, alhamdulillah, it's comfortable, it gets you ready to in the set mode for the Hajj. So those are the main pillars of the Umrah, and the wajibat of the Umrah are al-Ihram min al-Miqat, to declare the intention for Umrah in the Miqat zone, which is as we are flying in the airplane. You will be told that it's time now to declare your niyyah, and you declare niyyah and you move on. And then al-halq or taqsir, or to shave or to trim your hair, and this is the Umrah, and we're done. Now, what if someone passed the Miqat without declaring the Umrah? If the person intending to do the Hajj and or the Umrah, they need either to go back again, if possible, because I think traveling by airplane will not be possible. But if you are not able to do it, then basically, as we said, you will be expected to slaughter an animal to compensate for your ibadah. Now, what are the things you're supposed to do when you do when you are in the miqat, whether you're in the airplane or whether if you want to do another umrah when you're in Mecca, you go to the miqat, or if you happen to be coming from Medina and you stop by Abyar Ali, which is a location for the miqat, what is expected from you to do? The things that you're expected to do is to prepare yourself for the state of ihram, cutting your nails if they need to be cut, and you could do that before leaving from home, or when you are in Istanbul, cutting your hair, making sure that your hair in a status will make you able to continue with the journey of ihram until you do tahallul from the ihram, and then taking all your stitched clothes for the brothers, and taking a shower, which is a sunnah to do, and to perfume if you want, wear the perfume you like, because after the state of ihram you are not allowed to wear perfume, but you put it in advance, which is preferable, because again you will be it's going to be hot and people will be sweating and all the details, so you want to make sure that alhamdulillah you're in best shape as you go to Jum'ah. You perfume and you wear the best of what you have. So this is what is expected from you to do in the miqat and before you proceed into the ihram. And the ghusl is sunnah for both men and women, and even for the sister who's not praying in that stage. Again, to wear the perfume and then take off your shoes and wear slippers, and you declare the niyyah for ihram. Now, many people go say that I want to do 2 ruk'ah for ihram. There is nothing called 2 ruk'ah for ihram. There is the ihram or the niyyah for ihram is to be done after salah, whether it is salat al-faridah. So for instance, you happen to be in salat al-dhuhr or salat al-isha or whatever salah, you finish your salah and then you say labbaik Allahumma umrah or labbaik Allahumma hajj or labbaik, whatever you are intending to do. And if not, it's not the time for faridah, then you pray 2 ruk'ah sunnatul wudu. And then you declare that after that, the niyyah for the ihram. There's nothing called sunnat al-ihram. This is sunnatul wudu or any salah obligatory, you're intending to do. And after that, inshallah, you will be, you will start your journey to the ihram. Now, I think we pushed, okay. So what are the things you're not supposed to do when you're in the state of ihram? Once you said labbaik Allahumma hajj or labbaik Allahumma umrah, what is not expected from you to do? You're not expected to remove hair or to cut, and that's why you're encouraged, for both gender to make sure that even if you had to take a shower or if you scratch your hair, make sure that you don't lose hair when you do that. When you look into how Allah wants to test us in this journey, Allah wants to ذلك ومن يعظم حرمات الله فهو خير له عند ربه وذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فهو خير له عند ربه. Gratifying and being mindful about the hurumat and the sha'air is what is expected from this journey, as Allah mentioned in the Quran. So it could be rationally, it doesn't make anything to us, but this is what Allah wants us to be mindful about. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ليبلونكم الله بشيء من الصيد تناله أيديكم ورماحكم. As Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Ma'idah, He tested the Sahaba in one of the journeys with animals within the reach of their arms, not their spears, to see how they will be interacting in the state of ihram. So this is what Allah wants us to be mindful, wants us to be exaggerate. This is a boot camp to be mindful about the hurumat and to be aware of the sha'air of Allah Azza wa Jal. So as trimming the hair or taking hair from the body or cutting nails and wearing perfume afterwards to the brothers, or wearing gloves for the sisters as well, or if the brothers are going with their wives, they're expected to stay away from each other for the time of ihram. If any of the things were nullified during the state of ihram, then the compensation as for that, as we said, is either to fast 3 days or to feed 6 miskin, or to slaughter an animal that will be compensating for any of the violations for these issues that during the ihram. Now we can go into the details of what if someone did and for those going in a family, a brother and sister or spouse, if they happen to have an intimacy during that, this is going to spoil their Hajj nusuk, and they need to compensate it for the following year. So it is best within these times to be mindful of how serious this ibadah is, and need not to do anything that nullifies it, like for instance doing aqd al-Quran or to do nikah, or to kill an animal for hunting or for eating. This is all not accepted within the status of ihram. Now let's go to the actions of Hajj and Umrah. First of all, as we said, we intend to go for we do the niyyah in the miqat, labbaik Allahumma hajjan, and then once we do that, then we start declaring the talbiyah. So again, the different types of Hajj we have, for mutamatti'an or mufridan or qarinan, and with this, once we declare the niyyah for any of those 3 types, and for us in this case would be mutamatti'an, then we start doing the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, keeping in mind that you are responding to Allah Azza wa Jal's call. You're saying labbaik. Labbaik in the Arabic language mean basically, I am at your service, I'm at your command. Go back in time, in the time of slavery, when the master will be calling the slave will be responding labbaik, I am at your command. So this is exactly what you are saying to Allah Azza wa Jal. Ya Rabbi, I am at your command. I am your servant. I'm coming to you. I am, leaving everything behind me and coming to, to respond to your call. You continue with the talbiyah until the first day of Eid, until you throw the jamarat al-aqabat al-kubra. And we will come to explain that, when would that be specifically. But the talbiyah is something you continue to do throughout, the journey from the minute you start the declaration all the way to the end. However, if you're doing Umrah, we'll come to say that your talbiyah will be finished when you come to the haram. So let's say you're doing first the Umrah, you're declaring the talbiyah in the airplane, you start labbaik Allahumma labbaik. The Sahaba used to say it loud and from full blast. But being mindful in the traveling in the airplane would be a little difficult, but just keep it in mind. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Not only by the words, imagine, feel, legacy of saying to Allah, I'm responding to you, Rabbil Alameen. And your talbiyah, if you're going to the Umrah first, will be stopping when you reach the haram, when you start the tawaf in the Kaaba. So this is basically the ihram you will be wearing, as it is familiar to those who have gone to Umrah, to those who are not. It's basically wearing two pieces of garments, preferably white, one to cover the lower part of the body, and the other one to cover the upper part of the body. And there is a technique, by the way, to do it, in which that will help you to roll it around your wrist, that will not make it possible to fall. Or you could use whatever belts or anything that would make it inshallah possible for you. This is the map for the locations where people would need to declare their niyyah before they pass on. And I said again, with technology nowadays, you'll be informed as you're flying in the airplane, or if you happen to be in the land, the drivers most of the time say, okay, we're going to stop at the miqat so we can proceed. So labbaik Allahumma labbaik all the way to the end. When you start talbiyah, in the 8th day of the Hijjah, after you finish your Umrah, you stay in Mecca and you do tawaf, do ibadah, whatever it is, and then the 8th day of the Hijjah, you declare now Hajj. And then you continue with talbiyah in Hajj until the first day of Eid, and when you throw Jamarat al-Aqaba al-Kubra. When you throw the Jamarat, and then after that you start the talbiyah. Now, Tawaf al-Qudum is the tawaf that you first do when you come to Mecca. Let's say if a person is only coming for Hajj, so they go and do Tawaf al-Qudum. Qudum means arriving. So you do the Tawaf al-Qudum 7 times, and then you do the sa'i between Safa and Marwa. Now this will be considered for you part of the Hajj. Now, when you in your case will be going to the Hajj with doing Umrah first, so your Tawaf will be the Tawaf of the Umrah as well as the Tawaf al-Qudum. And then after you finish your Umrah, we'll come to explain the details of Umrah. You do the sa'i for the Umrah. And then later on, inshallah, when you finish the process of Hajj, you will go once again to the Tawaf al-Ifada and the sa'i of the Hajj. So the Tawaf al-Qudum هو نفسه Tawaf al-Umrah للمتمتع. For you, if you're mutamattia in your case, the first Tawaf you do will be counting for you as the Tawaf of the Umrah and the Tawaf of Qudum for Hajj. So there is no need for you to do another Tawaf later on for the Hajj. I know this is probably too much information. I'll try, there's so much information, I'll try to slow down, but if I will give inshallah a chance after that to ask questions. But for the first time, it would be, I remember the first time when I did Hajj, too much information, and you're too exhausted, but when you come later on, when you reflect later on, you'll find it's very comfortable, it's very easy. Hajj is actually very simple ibadah, but as I said, the struggle of the Hajj makes it very difficult for us to be able to maintain ourselves and keep going. So now al-Umrah qabl al-Hajj, so we go to the Umrah. Simply now we arrived to Mecca from the airplane, by the airplane. We arrived to the airport, and we are leaving from Jeddah, riding the buses to Mecca, and then we will putting our luggage into the hotel, and then get ourselves ready. If you're not too exhausted, go to the Umrah. If you need to rest, for an hour or two, do so, because do your Umrah, with full energy. Enjoy it. استمتعوا بهذا البيت. The Prophet ﷺ indicated once, استمتعوا بهذا البيت. Enjoy this house before it's destroyed. By the way, Kaaba was destroyed twice and will be destroyed for the last time at the end of time. So this is, a beautiful, ni'mah from Allah Azza wa Jal that has given to us. So don't think like, oh, I gotta go to the I gotta finish this. No, relax, do it, because you are about to, be engaged in a beautiful ibadah that will make you connect with Allah Azza wa Jal. Keep in mind that when you first see the Kaaba, your dua is accepted. And keep in mind, as you leave from home, traveling all the way to the old house of Allah Azza wa Jal, you are musafir, and dua of musafir is accepted. So there are multiple chances for you your dua to be accepted. Keep in mind, with every step you walk, or your camel walk, or your airplane flies, we're getting a hasana and a sayyah will be erased. Imagine how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of steps you will be accumulating as you leave from home all the way to the old house of Allah Azza wa Jal. So when you first arrive to the Kaaba, take your time, don't rush, look at the Kaaba. There are people whom I have seen myself crying, the tears just keep flowing from their eyes. Seeing the Kaaba for the first time, or even after some time, it make you emotionally become so vulnerable, and you start crying. You say, Ya Allah, you have honored me in this beautiful time to be a guest of you, Ya Rabbi. I am coming to your house. Traditionally, if I need something and I come, to someone's house to ask, for it, our culture, if I say no, then I would not be seen as an adequate person. So you're going to the house of Allah Azza wa Jal, the most generous, the most merciful, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Dhul Jalali wal Ikram. So you're going to his house. Feel that and pray to Allah Azza wa Jal. Take your time. Ya Rabbi, forgive my sins. Ya Rabbi, my son. Ya Rabbi, my wife. Ya Rabbi, my life. Ya Rabbi, this. Ya Rabbi, that. Take your time. Ask everything you want from Allah Azza wa Jal. And then after that, when you feel comfortable, your emotions are back in a stable condition, then you proceed after that towards the Kaaba. And hopefully you'll be able to make it around the Kaaba. If it is too crowded, then chances you'll be going to the second floor or third floor. But if Allah made it possible for you, and do your best to be as mindful about others as possible. Then when you go to the Kaaba, then you there's a sunnah in the Umrah, at-tawaddu', meaning to say exposing your right shoulder for the brothers only, and to ramil meaning to walk fast but not to run. And I think it is almost impossible nowadays if you're doing this in the Sahin, around the Kaaba. Maybe if you're going to the third or second floor, it is possible to do it. But if you're able to do it, alhamdulillah. So once you make it to the Kaaba, to the house, then, and you made your dua and all the details, you proceed to Al-Hajj al-Aswad. Al-Hajj al-Aswad is this, but I personally haven't been able to touch the Hajj al-Aswad or kiss it, because I consider this to be a sunnah, but respecting people is fard. Do your best. Now, if you, inshallah, when you go, there is a green light just beside, here's the Hajj al-Aswad, across it from the other, you will see a green light. And there is on the floor actually a line, but I think they removed it because people, were distracted by it. But when you go with the flow as people are going, and the Kaaba on your left, you will see the green light, or you will see people crowded around Hajj al-Aswad. What you do, if it is possible for you to Hajj al-Aswad, alhamdulillah. If not, do not, compromise a fard, which is respecting people integrity, for doing a sunnah. And I don't know what people get when they fight and they shovel and do so many unpleasant things to reach the Hajj al-Aswad, and then they come out as they have gain al-Jannah. There is nothing significant about it. Yes, alhamdulillah, this is a piece of al-Jannah, reminds you of al-Jannah, and it's the right hand of Allah, and all the details. It will testify for you in the Jannah, inshallah, in the hereafter, that you were in the Kaaba, you visited the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. But again, be mindful of that. So you are, as you're seeing here, this is al-Hajj al-Aswad. And so by al-Hajj al-Aswad here, and as I said, you will see the light on the cross from that. You start from there, the Kaaba is near your left, raise your hand, and say the following dua. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahumma iman bika wa tasdiqan bi kitabika wa ittaba'an sunnat nabiyyika Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If you don't know the dua, say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. That's sufficient enough. And then you proceed from there to in your journey. You continue your journey to do tawaf around the Kaaba. This is the door of the Kaaba. This is al-Hatim. Here is part of the Kaaba, by the way. You remember in the Sirah when the Prophet ﷺ, when Quraysh reconstructed the Kaaba at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and he had the honor to put the Hajar, so they did not have enough, money to build the Kaaba the way it was built by Ibrahim alayhi. So they had to shortcut it to make it only built from halal money. So do not go a shortcut from here, but rather go around this fence or this small short wall and continue on your journey all the way, to the end. When you reach to this side here, al-Hajar al-Rukn al-Yamani, which is just one, corner before al-Hajar al-Aswad, this area here, there's a special dua. You say, Allahumma atini fi dunya hasana, wa fil akhirati hasana, wa qini adab an-nar. What you should do when you're doing the full circle, any dua. If you want to do istighfar, you want to do tasbih, you want to read Quran, you want to cry and talk to Allah, whatever comes to your heart, feel, as you're doing your tawaf, feel that as you are in the earth doing your tawaf, in al-Bayt al-Ma'mur in the sky, there are malaika who are doing their tawaf, and they finish their tawaf and depart and never come back again until the day of judgment. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُوَ. No one knows the soldiers of Allah Azza wa Jalla, the count of them, except Allah Azza wa Jalla. Feel that the legacy, that this is where the Prophet of Allah Azza wa Jalla used to do his tawaf. Chances you will be walking in the footsteps of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Think of the Sahaba, think of the struggle they have gone through, think of all the Prophets of Allah. Isa alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, as the Prophet Sallallahu informed us, made it to the house of Allah Azza wa Jalla and they did their Hajj. So you are following the footsteps of the Prophet Sallallahu and the Prophets of Allah, and you're walking the footsteps of the Sahaba who have paved the road for us to be, in the state of Islam we are in right now. You are around the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's there. There is nothing more you can ask for. This is your time to feel all the emotions and and cry as much as you can and feel that Allah is listening. Your dua, chances of dua is there. You are there. This is it. This is it. The malaika is around you. Everything is there. So this is what you do. You do 7 circles around the Kaaba. Now, if you're wearing a ring, this is I found the easiest way to do it is to keep the ring in your finger, as you go your circulations. Some people have a short masbaha with 7 beads in it, whatever. But just keep in mind it's very confusing because you're focusing on dua and ibadah. Oh, did I do 4? Did I do 5? And how many tawaf did I do? It does not matter. If you feel like in salah, if you feel that, oh, did I do 5 or 6? Say I did 5 and continue until you make the number complete. So, but as again, have a tool that you will help you to do it. I found it myself very helpful to find something to count in, and I personally found the most convenient is to have a ring in your finger. You do the first shout and you put it on the first finger and you continue all the way until you finish your tawafs. As I said, this is a beautiful chance between you and Allah Azza wa Jal to talk to Him. Ask all the things you need. Feel the legacy. Once you finish, then you go to Maqam Ibrahim, which is the post you will find, in front of the door of the Kaaba. This is the post you will, nowadays it's beautiful, the golden decoration, all the details. You pray behind it, if possible. If not, pray anywhere in the Haram. Some people want to do it right there, and people will be doing their tawaf and they cross on them. It's chaotic. Be mindful that the Hajj is, yes, it's Allah wants to teach us the discipline, but at the same time, it's flexible. Keep in mind, we're one of probably 5 million people who are in Hajj. So if everybody wants to do the same way that they were instructed to do, it will be impossible almost. So compromise and get the rewards from Allah for being merciful and Rahim on the other Muslim fellows around you. So what's the Maqam of Ibrahim? You pray behind it 2 rak'ah, short 2 rak'ah. The first 2 rak'ah, Qul Ya al-Kafirun, and the second rak'ah, Qul Huwallahu Ahad, and then you stand facing the Kaaba, or wherever you're standing, make dua, 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 dua. Keep repeating the things because this is what your journey is for. Ya Rabbi, my life is going chaotic. Ya Rabbi, my children, Ya Rabbi, my wife, Ya Rabbi, my business, Ya Rabbi, I am at the end of my life, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. Ask. The more you ask, the more Allah loves you. The more you will, inshallah, your dua will be accepted. So this is another chance for you to make dua as much as you can after you finish these 2 rak'ah. Once you finish from these 2 rak'ah, This is just an image to show you what's inside the box, so that when you go around, you'll not be distracted, stopping and seeing what's inside or touching that. There is no significance, by the way. Nothing is significant about touching this post. It's just a post. Ibrahim ﷺ used to stand on it when he was building the Kaaba. And they say it used to go up and down, whatever, the details, but it's just a post. And what's inside it is what you will see right now, the footsteps of Ibrahim. It's still curved on the stone, and they have it, shaped in golden or silver, metal. So this is what it is, basically, nothing else. By the way, there's nothing significant of standing, and making dua on the gate of Kaaba. Nothing is significant about that. There are people standing and killing each other over this. Nothing very special about it. But there are some, sayings about, I come across, later, that I'm not sure how authentic that is. Between the door of the Kaaba here and the Hajj al-Aswad, which is about half a meter, by the way, distance. This is called al-Multazam. And I don't think there is going to be a chance for that. If you're able to make it. The last time I could not make it, by the way. Alhamdulillah, Allah has me certain times to be able to make it. Last Ramadan, I did not bother, wallahi. And I felt that it's going to be a sin. If possible, come closer and let your chest touch the wall of the Kaaba and make dua. Now, chances, if you were able to make it, people will be tapping in your shoulders, and subhanallah, and I've seen so many violations in Hajj. But this is the only part of the Kaaba that there has been some sayings about that the dua there is accepted, even though in my opinion, the Kaaba itself, and the Haram itself, all is a beautiful location for dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. After you finish your 2 rak'at, you go to Zamzam. Now, Zamzam well is basically not as we heard about it, and the water gushing from the ground and all the details, but it is basically now containers will be scattered around. Go there, take your time, drink Zamzam. Tabadda. Tabadda mean to drink water until you feel that the water have reached your throat. You drink, and with the niyyah, whether it is the niyyah of ilm, whether it is the niyyah of shifa, whether the niyyah of success in the dunya, whether the niyyah of the akhirah, whatever it is, Zamzam lima shuriba lahu. Your dua is accepted by Zamzam. So keep that in mind. Your dua, when you're doing Zamzam, is accepted 100%. Alhamdulillah. So you finish your drinking the Zamzam, and take your time again. There's no rush. No one is rushing. You paid, significant amount of money. You've traveled a long distance. So why compromise? Shopping could be done, trust me. Whatever you will buy from Mecca, you can find it here. Pay a little extra, but it's worth, when you think of how much you will save when you buy things there, compared to how much money you have, spent to make it there, it's not worth it. And on the top of all that, could be a life chance. Allahu Alam if we're able to make it again. It's becoming very difficult, and all the challenges. So take advantage of every single second of your time in Mecca. Drink Zamzam and move on after that to As-Sa'i. As-Sa'i between As-Safa and Marwa. You will see the gates now. Alhamdulillah, things are becoming more easy, and there are signs everywhere. So you will find they were telling you As-Sa'i from this way, and you will proceed from there to the Sa'i. Sa'i, if you do it at the first floor, second floor, third floor, is the same. Because basically, Sa'i is, walking between 2 posts. So if you do it on this level, or the upper level, or third level, this distance is the same. However, Tawaf could be a little different. Because when you do Tawaf on the second floor or third floor, the circle is expanded, so it's a little, more than when you do it inside the Kaaba. But nevertheless, as the more you struggle, the more you gain from Allah Azza. So personally, when I do my Sa'i, it doesn't matter. If I found the first floor crowded, I go to second. The second floor, I go to the top, all the way to the roof. I wanted to do it in a way that will help me to be able to focus on my ibadah. Hajar alayhi salam, in a very difficult moment in her life, when she was alone in Mecca, no one was there. No sign of living, not even a bird, not even, anything. She was by herself. Think of the emotions of a mother, with a baby, in that situation. Think of how much struggle she went through, how much agony, and think how she was making her dua. Feel the same way and know that your dua is accepted. If Allah accepted the dua of Hajar alayhi salam, honored her afterwards, so that whenever we go to Hajj and Umrah, we follow her footsteps because of what she have done or because of her belief, then Allah Azza wa Jal is honoring you to do the same thing. Take your time. Every time you go to As-Safa, and al-Marwa. You will say, inshallah, we'll share the dua of the Safa and Marwa, but take your time to do the dua. You proceed to say in the Safa wal Marwa من شعائر الله فمن حج البيت واعتمر فلا جناح عليه الطواف بهم وتطوع خيرا فالله شاكر عليم. And then as you proceed to the Safa, and then you stand there, you say لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد على كل شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. You repeat this 3 times, and then you make dua. Take your time, no rush. I encourage you, if even in group, take your time. If there's someone who's weak, or old, or unable to walk, then let's be mindful of that. But if there's nothing to stop us, take your time, make dua, say everything in your heart to Allah Azza Jal, so that Allah will inshallah make a difference in your life. After you finish 7 times commuting between Safa and Marwa, and keep in mind between Safa and Marwa, there's the green light. You will see signs, green light. If you were able, it's not too crowded, to run between these 2 lines. This is when Hajar al-Islam used to come from the post all the way to the valley, and then once again to the valley. So she used to run. You can imagine how the mother, who is very worried about, yes, this is until the green light. If you are physically able to do it, alhamdulillah. If it's not crowded, it's sunnah to do. By the grace, for Allah, you'll be able to do it. After you finish from your umrah, you either shave or you trim. And I think because you're going to Hajj, it's best if you trim. And make sure that it's not just taking a few samples from your hair. Make sure it's a haircut. It's like a 20 riyal, 10 riyals even, 10-15 riyal to nearby, near haircut shops, and you get a haircut. Tell them I'm going umrah and going for Hajj, so that they will not take too much hair. They'll take a little bit to give you the chance to exit from the state of ihram. And keep in mind, the Prophet ﷺ said, رحم الله المحلقين قيل والمقصرين يا رسول الله قال المحلقين. He repeated that 3 times, and then he said المقصرين. Because shaving the head is difficult, but you're showing full submission to Allah Azza wa Jal in this journey. Now you finished your umrah. So now after that, when you cut your hair or shave, if you intend to shave, just make sure that you leave something a little bit so you can for the Hajj. Then after that, you get yourself ready for the Hajj on the 8th day of the Hijjah, which is called Yawm al-Tarwiyah. Yawm al-Tarwiyah, they used to take the cattle with the animals with them to Mina, and to prepare them for the biggest day, to the slaughtering in the day of Eid. So Yawm al-Tarwiyah is the 8th day of Hijjah. You proceed to Mina in the morning, and you stay there, Dhuhr, Asr, and Isha, and you shorten the salawat to ruk'ah, but you do not combine. And this is the location where you will be getting yourself ready and prepared for the actions of Hajj. Now, I found this map on the internet. Gives you an idea. See, this is al-Haram. You first come, from Jeddah, and then you proceed to the Haram. On the 8th day of the Hijjah, you go to the Mina camp. Right there, you can see this is, by the way, the Jamarat. It's in Mina. So once you go to Mina to prepare yourself the day in advance before the day of Arafah, the 8th day, because the day of Arafah is on the 9th. So you go there, relax, get yourself ready, get yourself in the mood of being in the state of Hajj, because Al-Hajj Arafah, the day of Arafah is the day of Hajj. And then from there, you will be proceeding to Arafah. And then once you finish from Arafah, you will be going to Al-Muzdalifah, after finishing from Arafah. And then once again, you will be going to Mina to spend the rest of the Ayyam al-Tashriq there. So this is just a scan of what you will be. Because if this is the first time, you'll be confused. What's Muzdalifah? What's Arafah? What's this? This is what it is. It's basically locations close to each other. You will be going in a circle from one location to another. This is what the Mina camp look like from a distance. It's just Allah knows how many tents are there. Are we good with the? Yeah. And this is what the tents would look like. And again, they always say, oh, luxurious, comfortable. We don't need it to be luxurious or comfortable. Yes, inshallah, to the best of our ability. But keep in mind, Hajj. This is the struggle. This is jihad. This is the the Prophet ﷺ, a man came to him and said, I'm unable to go jihad. He said, your jihad is Hajj. And the Prophet ﷺ said to Aisha radiallahu anha, when she came to him that, men go to fight and what way it isn't for us. He said, your jihad is Hajj. It is a struggle. So those who claim that they want a 5-star, Hajj, they want it doesn't work. It doesn't fit. You're not getting what you need. So now on the 9th day of the Hijjah, which is the following day after Mina, when you get yourself ready, you're settled in Mina, and you're comfortable, and you're fully charged for the following day, then you proceed to Arafah. Now Arafah is the 9th day of the Hijjah, as we said. We proceed after بعد الشروق, after the sun rises, to Arafah, and then from there you will be staying there from after shuruq all the way to the end of the day. And the Prophet ﷺ indicated that al-Hajj Arafah, and then he said خير الدعاء دعاء عرفة وخير ما قلت أنا والنبيين من قبلي لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك له الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Now it is the Hajj. This is basically the Hajj. So make sure that you are in full state of emotions and mind and mindful of what you are in. There are people who feel bored. They start chatting. I heard that people play cards, which is it's unacceptable. You are, and especially for those who have traveled long distance and paid money, you're coming to Allah. This is no days of the whole year Shaitan will be seen as humiliated as he will be seen on the day of Arafah. This is the day when the maghfirah and rahmat will be pouring from the sky onto the people. And this is when Allah will be coming down to the lower sky and asking the malaika what my servants have come for. And they will be saying, coming for your rahmah and maghfirah and asking for your jannah. And Allah Azza will be granting this to you. And when the Umar radiallahu anhu asked the Prophet sallam, Ya Rasulullah, is this only for us, at the time of the Prophet because we are with you in your Hajj al-Wada? He said, no, this is to everyone. So this is, يغفر الله الحاج ولمن استغفر له الحاج. Allah will be forgiving the Hajj, and to those whom the Hajj will be asking for their forgiveness. So we ask you, this is an amana. Make istighfar to us, make dua for us, because Allah will be inshallah answering your dua, and will be inshallah answering the dua to those whom you will make a dua for inshallah by the will of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now keep in mind, on the top here, this is Jabal Rahmah. There is a post on Jabal Rahmah. If you are able to make it, alhamdulillah. If not, Arafah is all the same. But make sure that you stay within Arafah, by the way. The bottom of the mountain, Jorana, I think it's called, is not considered from Arafah. There are signs, by the way. Alhamdulillah, this is from the beauty of the facilities of Hajj. There are signs everywhere to help you be able to do the Hajj properly. So stay within the boundaries of the signs of Hajj. They will say, like sentences, Hajj, Arafah, or Muzdalifah, Mina. So there are huge signs you cannot miss. So make sure that you stay within the boundaries of Arafah. Anywhere in the mountain, alhamdulillah, good. Choose a comfortable location where you're able to stay focused on your ibadah, whether it is reading Quran, whether it's istighfar, whether it is dua, all of this. The Prophet ﷺ, stayed at the end of the whole day, raising his hand and praying to Allah Azza wa Jal, to the point that his camel rope pulled from his hand. He did not, lower his hand. He took with the left hand and kept the right hand up to make the dua, because every single second counts in the dua of Arafah. So make sure, and especially by the end of the day before you proceed to Muzdalifah. So this is, alhamdulillah, the core of the whole thing. Make sure that you're that day ready, rested well before the night before, so you're able to benefit from the day of Arafah, the day from all the way. And in Arafah, as you will be inshallah doing, you will be combining Dhuhr and the Asr together, shortened, and you listen to the speech of Arafah, and so that your time will be saved for the dua and for the ibadah and the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So you will not be distracted with anything else. Dua, nothing else. So ويمتد وقوف بعرفة من طلوع يوم بوقفة إلى طلوع يوم العيد. Now, if whatever happens, someone gets sick, whatever it is, Arafah is still, standing in Arafah could extend until the morning of Eid, by the way. So ومن أدرك, and if you are able to catch the salah of Fajr later on in Muzdalifah, then alhamdulillah you have done your standing of Arafah. But alhamdulillah, for whatever reason, sometimes people get sick or something distract them. If you stayed a little late, then alhamdulillah, that's fine, as long as you're able to go to Mina, Muzdalifah inshallah, because we proceed from there to Muzdalifah to be able to make it inshallah. And if you missed standing in Arafah فإن طلع الفجر العيد قبل أن يقف بعرفة فقد فاته الحج. If someone was not able to make it to Arafah, and the following morning or the day of Eid, Fajr was due, then you did not make your Hajj, and then you not stand in Arafah. So it is best, from the shuruq of the 9th day all the way to the Maghrib sunset, and you proceed to Muzdalifah. For whatever reason you needed to stay a little late, then that's fine until the Fajr of the following day. فإن قال قد اشترط اوكي لم يكن شرط حل العمره فاذهب للكعبه ويطوف بالبيت ويسعى بين الصفا والمروه ويحلق وان كان معه الهدي ذبحه. If you were not able to make it to Arafah, then you can make your Hajj after that as a Umrah. You proceed to Mecca, and you do sa'i between the Safa and Marwa, and cut short your hair, and then you're done. You have done Umrah. But inshallah, everything will be going smooth, and things will be inshallah going as the plan. So Muzdalifah will be proceeding from, as you remember, the map will proceed from Arafah to Muzdalifah on the 10th day, on the sunset of the 9th day of the Hijjah. So we finished from Arafah, the sun is set, we proceed gently, softly, calmly, for huge crowds all the way to Muzdalifah. And then we pray there Maghrib and Isha combined, and then we stay there until the Tulu' al-Shams, the sun rises of the following day. What is, this is, I said again, the signs you will see for all the masha'ir. You will see the sign Muzdalifah says, both in Arabic and English. And then from there, inshallah, you spend the night, and there's, nothing, as I said, significant about staying in Muzdalifah. You do not, do qiyam al-layl or extra ibadat, but rather you rest because you have a busy schedule the following day. Now, if there are people who are, old in age or they are sick and they are unable to spend the night, then after the midnight they can leave from Muzdalifah to Mina or going to where they are in a more comfortable place because of their health reason. وإن خشي خروج وقت العشاء من منتصف الليل فإنه يجب عليه أن يصلي قبل خروج الوقت في أي مكان ويبيت مزدلفة ولا يحيان. So if this is a fiqh issue, but if you were stuck in Arafah for some reason and you were not able to do your Isha, and it is about to pass midnight, you pray your Isha anywhere and then you proceed to Muzdalifah to spend the night there. This is a fiqh issue about the salah. But as I said again, those who are sick, unable to make it to stay in Muzdalifah, then they can proceed to Mina because of their restrictions. Now, here you will see a diagram about what Muzdalifah is all about. It's one of the masha'ir, and then people spend the night there. When I went there, it was not very bad. We slept in a sleeping bags, open because there were no tents, no problem. And there you could collect the stones. So you will be throwing afterwards in the day of Tashriq, and the stone size will be not too small, not too big, about the size of the chickpeas. And you take 7 of them for the following day, or if you're intending to stay 2 more days or 3 days, you can collect for each jamara you throw 7. So 7 times 3, that's 21, or 21 times 2 or times 3 is the amount you need from the jamara. So you collect the stones, and then you get up in the following day, you pray your Fajr, and then before Tulu' al-Shams, before the sun rises, because you need to leave early, you proceed after that to the actions of Hajj in Mina. Now, رمي الجمرات الكبرى والذبح. This is what will be done in Mina. Once you finish from Muzdalifah, you spend the night there, and you get up for your Fajr, and then you proceed after that to Mina. What will be done in Mina after finishing from Al-Muzdalifah? So here we come from Arafah, we went to Al-Muzdalifah, we spent the night there, we collected the stones that we need to throw, and then we proceed to Mina, where the Jamarat is, Jamrat al-Aqaba al-Kubra, the biggest Jamrat. We throw 7 stones. So in the first day of Eid, we throw only a Jamrat al-Aqaba al-Kubra, the biggest one. So we throw only 7 stones, not 3, only 1. And we throw 7 stones. We throw the stones, and then we slaughter the animal after that, and then we go to cut the hair or shave for the hair. This is what would make us or help us to exit from the small state of ihram. Now almost Hajj is done right now. You have throw the stones, kill the animal, which will be done on your behalf. In this case, you will not be slaughtering an animal, and then after that you go to shave your head or to cut your hair to exit from the small state of ihram. Now, why this is the small state of ihram? Because after that, if you are able to, then you need to, after you finish, this throwing of the stones, and when we talk about throwing the stones, you will come to experience that you're talking about massive, huge number of people who are going to throw stones. So you need to be mindful about the crowdness, the possibility of doing that, before it gets too crowded and all the details. If you manage to do it, alhamdulillah, you slaughter, and then you proceed up to tawaf al-ifada or tawaf al-ziyara. Now, what's tawaf al-ifada and what's tawaf al-ziyara? Tawaf al-ifada and tawaf al-ziyara are the same name for one tawaf you do after, the first day of Eid, after you finish from sleeping in Muzdalifah and throwing the stones and killing the animal and shaving your hair. Now, it's called al-ifada because, if I am pouring water in my cup, whatever, extra will be pouring in the fada, meaning to say it's spilled out. People will be going in abundance, in large numbers to Mecca to do their, tawaf. So this is called ifada. And it's called ziyara because you will be going to visit the Kaaba and come back again to Mina. So you will be residents in Mina and visiting the Mecca and the day of on the first day of Eid. So if you're able to do your tawaf and then al-ifada, if in your case mutamatti', you need to do after that the sa'i. So you do the tawaf al-ifada after you shave and do all the the shave and the killing of the animal, and then you proceed and then after that you pray 2 ruk'ah behind the post of Ibrahim like we did in the Umrah, the 2 ruk'ah, short 2 ruk'ah, يقول يا الكافرون قل هو الله أحد, and then you drink from Zamzam, and then you proceed to Safa and Marwa. The same thing we did in Umrah. In the Safa al-Marwa min sha'airillah, you go to the post of Safa, and then you proceed to Al-Marwa. You do that 7 times, and you make dua every time. And once you are finished with As-Safa wal-Marwa, then you have done your Hajj. You shave your head, and you're completely and I'm sorry that you already shaved your head, but you do the Safa and Sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and you have exit from all the states of Ihram. So now you're a free man. Nothing, no restrictions in your life after that. After you finish this, now in the case of Muqrin and Mutamatti', which I don't think the case in here, all you need to do is Tawaf al-Ifada. No need for the Sa'i, because you already have done it when you first arrived to Mecca. But in your case, as I said again, because you will be doing Umrah and then you're doing Hajj, you will be doing Tawaf al-Ifada, and then after that, you pray 2 ruk'ah, Zamzam, and then you do the Sa'i, and then Alhamdulillah, Khatam Qubul, you're finished from the Hajj. You go after that to Mina, and you spend your time there, dhikr to Allah Azza wa Jal, and then after that you go to the Ayya al-Tashriq. Now we need to go. Now al-Mabit bi Mina hukmuhu wajib. Spending the night in Mina is a must. Yes, Akhi.
Pick up the ihram after the.
Yeah, khas. This is actually the ihram will be taken when you first shave.
When you first do the shave.
Shave, exactly, in Mina. Yeah. When you come from Muzdalifah, you're wearing the ihram. You throw the 7 stones, the Jamrat al-Aqaba al-Kubra, and then after that, the hadi will be slaughtered on your behalf. It's already. So you shave your head, and this is khas. You take the ihram off. You wear your normal clothes. And you do Tawaf al-Ifada with your normal clothes, but once you finish the Tawaf al-Ifada and the Sa'i, khalas, alhamdulillah, your Hajj is completed and concluded, alhamdulillah. So, keep in mind that spending the night in Mina is from wajib, and if you missed it, then you have to slaughter an animal for doing, without a legitimate reason. Now, Ayyam al-Tashriq al-Ula, and this is the 11th day of the Hijjah, which is the following day after the Eid. This is the Yawm al-Tashriq al-Awwal, the first day of Ayyam al-Tashriq. You go to throw the 3 jamarat. The Sughra, and then the Wusta, and then the Kubra. And then throw 7 stones in each one, and take your time to make the dua, because it's reported that from Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he was, after he threw the stones, he said, Ya Allah, give me shahada in the city of your Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who were around him said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, how could that be? Now, this Umar al-Khattab was Khalifa, state of Islam was, from coast to coast. So he said, how could that be? He said, this is my dua and Allah will answer it to me. And he got shahada, not only in Medina from Sallallahu he got it in the mihrab of the Prophet Sallallahu when he was stabbed. So this is, you throw the jamarat, again, be mindful of the crowdness and be mindful of, how restricted it is going to be. It's normally done after zawal, after the salat al-dhuhr. And even the Prophet permitted to do it in the evening because of the crowdness. So be mindful of your safety of others, and you do the jamarat, and you stay in Mina to remember Allah Azza wa Jal. And then now we go to the Yawm al-Tashriq al-Thani, with the second day after the Eid, which is you repeat the same thing that has been done in the first day of Tashriq. And وَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ لِمَا اتَّقَى. Those who will be staying for 2 days or 3 days, you're going to be staying?
12.
Oh, so you're going to be staying for the day. So inshallah, if you stay for 2 more days after the day of Eid, or if you stay for 3 days, فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ لِمَنِ اتَّقَى. The whole idea is to be mindful and aware of the unconscious of the taqwa to Allah Azza wa Jal. I would stop here, and then tawaf al-wada'. Al-wada' is the last tawaf you do, the farewell tawaf. When you're finished everything and you're about to leave to Mecca, and leave the haram, you you depart with the niyyah that with the last thing would be to do tawaf to the Bayt of Allah Azza wa Jal, to the Kaaba, and concluding your actions of Hajj with the best of ibadat. No ibadah. You can do any ibadah anywhere on earth. You can even in the space do it. When you're flying, you can pray. But you cannot do tawaf except in Mecca. So this is one of the most beautiful ibadat, and do as much tawaf when you are there as possible, when you finish your ihram, because Allah Azza sends 120 rahmah every day. 60 are given to the ta'ifin, 40 given to the musallin, and 20 are given to the observers, those who are watching the Kaaba. This is how beautiful staying in the haram is. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك ولا اصلي بخصوص الذين امنوا والصالحات وصلوا الحق وصلوا الصبر جزاكم الله خيرا. May Allah accept from your Hajj and make inshallah Hajj al-Mabrur. Please keep us in your dua inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Do you have any questions or anything?
I think we might not have time for that, because I have to go to another masjid to quick salat al-maghrib.
A quick question anybody have?
Yeah, if any quick questions, or if Sheikh Abdul Faqar has my number, please by all means. I'm honored to be servant to the guests of the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's an honor for me. I know that many even scholars and da'is are honored to be servants to those who will be going to the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. So alhamdulillah, if there's anything I could be of any help for you in your trip, inshallah, please do not hesitate to give me a call. I think many of you know, and we're familiar to each other, inshallah. But inshallah, my number is with Sheikh Abdul Faqar, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.